I must kill Frank Drebin. I'm Justin.
What does Karen Young say when she gets done having sex? Get off me, Dad, you're crushing my smokes. I'm Sam.
That's right, people. It's opening weekend for baseball. I'm Jackie, and this is Night Game on Stinker Madness.
Hello and welcome to Stinker Madness, a bad movie podcast. A bad podcast for bad movies. That's it. I'm Justin. With me are always Sam and Jackie. And this week on the show, we got Roy Scheider. I think in only maybe his second episode. No, we didn't do that Chopper movie. I think this is his first appearance on Stinker Madness, which is kind of surprising. Maybe Sam's got more details on that. Currently streaming on Amazon Prime from 1989 called Night Game. We're talking baseball.
Your heart was in the right place, Jackie, for opening week or opening day of baseball, weekend of baseball, but this thing stinks. It sucks. Like, we're 10 minutes in, and Sandra's like, I don't know. And then I just said out loud, this movie sucks. And she quit watching it after about 28 minutes. She was like, I'm going to go do laundry. It's more stimulating.
Yes, it is. Especially if you sit on the washing machine on the spin cycle. Hey-o. Did you, when you say this movie stinks, did you do it in your Harry Carey voice? Because that would have been more probes.
This movie stinks.
Hi. Yeah, it's not good. What can you tell us about it?
I asked the internet, what's interesting about this movie? And it told me nothing.
Okay.
Did you use Chat GP?
No.
No,
I just did research, and there's nothing interesting about this movie. It was shot in Galveston, Texas. Mm-hmm. There are shots in the Astrodome, so some of it was done in Houston.
Okay.
Oddly, the movie poster has Tiger Stadium in it.
Oopsie.
Yeah, it's not even a dome.
Nope.
So at the end of the movie, there's a very strange looking building that's like up here. Did you notice that?
At the end, okay, I mean, without spoiling anything, can you explain the scene a little? Like, where are we talking about?
So she's like going from out of doors, and then all of a sudden she goes out of the back of the. But you get a shot of it, and you're like, there's like a bunch of different. It's just like a long pier building.
Is that Santa Monica?
No.
Okay.
It is interesting.
Okay.
It's called the Balinese Room.
Oh, all right.
And it's a 600-foot building that's kind of a pier at the same time.
Okay, a little more like a wharf.
No, it's straight up like a really fucking huge pier that has buildings on the whole bunch of it.
I thought a pier
600 feet of this.
I thought a pier juts out into the ocean and like it's just like a boardwalk, and you could put a carousel and a what the fuck is the Ferris wheel? You put that and then like you got a crab shack on it.
Yeah, this is all covered though. It's all in. There's businesses. It started out as a Chinese restaurant, I guess. Okay. And then in the 50s, they were at the very end of it. There was a casino.
All right, that makes sense.
Sinatra and the boys would hang out there, I guess. Sinatra apparently performed here because this Balinese Room was a big deal. But in 1956, the guy who ended up winning the Texas Attorney General election was named Will Wilson.
Will Wilson.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And he ran strictly on the platform of shutting that motherfucking casino down. And he won.
Why?
Because it's whenever you have gambling involved in an election, all of a sudden the numbers get pumped, right? Like, both sides come out in force. It's fucking ridiculous. We won't fix a goddamn thing in this country, but if we want to fucking kill a horse track, we can do that.
I mean, Texas?
Texas killed its own gambling. I don't fucking know. It was illegal. Sure, it was illegal, but yeah, and you know what he did next? He put the Texas fucking Rangers on it. The Rangers, the most vicious form of branch of their law enforcement, he put on the Balinese Room. And then they couldn't get it done for like a year because they'd raid it. But by the time they made it to the end of the pier was so long that all the stuff was hidden. And they're like, oh, it's gone again. What are you guys doing here? All right. And then they'd go back to their hotel, and the next day they'd raid it again, and they'd get all the stuff hidden before they made it. They're like, what are you guys doing here? There's nothing here. Why? They're like, oh, and it happened so frequently that they renamed the length of it the Ranger's Run.
Oh my God, that's so stupid.
Finally, after a year, one of them went undercover and pretended to not be a cop. And they're like, yeah, there's gambling here. And he's like, gotcha, bitches.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh my God. Oh God. So dumb.
I probably went back into operation not long after that. Eventually, in the 70s, when disco got big, they turned that back into a dinner club and disco.
Okay. All right.
Tragically.
And then the Attorney General tried to shut it down because he was a rocker.
No, I don't know.
No.
It got shut down by a frickin' hurricane.
Oh, okay. That'll do it.
2013 is completely fucking destroyed. They didn't build it back.
God.
Reduced to rubble. Nothing but plywood. I guess the very first door was the only thing that stayed intact.
Oh, bummer.
Yep. As far as Roy Scheider is concerned, this is some of the standard fare that he was doing in the 80s that would land him the role of Nathan Bridger in Sequest DSV to try to salvage his career.
Talking to a dolphin.
How bad was... I watched it, and it's just, like, when I watched the first 2 episodes of Sequest DSV, I was left with the question, why would you do this?
How long ago did you watch it?
5 years ago.
Okay, I watched it when it came out, and that's the last time I touched it. Jackie, ever seen Sequest DSV?
No.
It's bad. I mean, it's one of the worst television shows ever made.
You, like, want to root for it because Ted Raimi's in it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You're like, he can need some cash.
Yep.
But it was also, like, the television at large forced it on you because it was, like, on Sunday nights or something.
Yeah,
like
it had a good
before
time slot.
it had, like, it was on against nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just had to watch Sequest, and you're like, why do I have to watch this?
Well, because
and
at
it
that
was
point...
expensive.
It was expensive, but at that point, you're a kid, I'm assuming. If you were an adult person during Sequest DSV, I hope you've got good retirement and Medicaid, because you're pretty old. But if you were a kid, the draw was that it was a show that took place under, in the ocean. Everybody loves the ocean. They got sea life and they're exploring, and God, they might run into those people from the abyss and all sorts of excitement.
The Snorks.
Yeah, the Snorks, they were big. Everybody loves stuff that's under the sea. Little Mermaid came out like a year before that shit. I mean, that was the draw.
Yeah, there was definitely draw, but it was every whatever night that it came on, you'd look at the television and you go, why can't this be any good?
Yeah, yeah.
Why can this not be any good?
And it was real stupid.
Yep.
They had a talking dolphin, Jackie.
Darwin, yeah. I remember the dolphin's name.
Wasn't the kid who, like, trained Darwin?
Jonathan Brandis? The kid that shot himself?
Yeah. Okay.
Or killed himself somehow. I don't really know what happened to Jonathan Brandis.
Yeah, they had a little, like, translator collar that they would strap to the dolphin, and he'd be like, and come out. Yes, I think that we should move starboard, port, bow, raise the mainsails in the submarine. You're stupid, dolphin.
Was he a wild dolphin, or was he, like, part of the crew?
He was part of the crew.
He was part of the crew. And here's really why Sequest DSV was so shitty. Because they didn't even try to put a thin veil over we're just going to copy Star Trek The Next Generation. Mm-hmm. Jonathan Brandis is not, his character could be named not Wesley Crusher.
Yeah, not Wesley Crusher.
This is totally not The Next Generation underwater and shitty.
That's true. It totally was.
So fucking dumb.
Okay, let's move on.
Anyway, Karen Young, who plays the love interest, his child bride, as it were, in this film. Yeah, that was
kind of gross.
Jerry Lewis
actually plays the child of his character from Jaws in Jaws the Revenge.
No shit.
It's actually an on-screen daughter. Yuck.
Yick.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing we're gonna talk about in this whole movie is their creepy relationship.
Okay, doesn't even take. Okay, I'll save it for later then. Other things that are sort of interesting is the lady who plays her mom, Carlin Glynn, is the wife of the director Peter Masterson, who's more known as an actor, and their child is Mary Elizabeth Masterson. If you are interested in that,
Mary Elizabeth Masterson. Why does her name sound familiar?
Because she was a big deal in the 90s.
Was she the lady in the abyss?
Nope.
Okay.
That's Mary Antoine Mastersonio or something. I can't remember.
Laura San Guacamo?
We get Paul Gleason.
Okay.
From The Breakfast Club, playing one of the finest dickheads ever to grace the screen with his dickhead shtick. Paul Gleason gets it done as the dickhead.
He sure does.
Just consistently. Lane Smith gets it done as a guy who's going to come in and fucking big time you because the governor's man. Get good guys. Richard Bradford is a cowboy actor who does his thing perfectly. Did you know that Richard Bradford was the best man at Jack Nicholson's wedding?
I did
Which
not
one?
know that. Yeah, which one?
The first one. I don't actually know. How many times did he get married? Like 17?
Yeah, a bunch.
The one probably in the 70s, whichever one that was. Maybe in the 80s. He was in a movie with Nicholson and Brando, and then Nicholson would they became chummy and actually probably pretty good fucking friends if he's your best man at any point. And so he's in a number of the Nicholson movies as well. There are a couple other surprise appearances that I'm going to wait until it happens because I want to know if you recognized the person who gets slashed when they get slashed.
Okay, all right. Anything else?
The music was done by Italian composer Pino Donaggio, and I only mention that because I like to say Pino Donaggio.
Pino Donaggio, and he's Italian.
And he loves the saxophone.
He actually, his nickname's Pino, so he probably just drinks a bunch of wine.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like my name being Beer Whiskey. Hey, Beer Whiskey, get over here.
Yeah.
Our original pick, we should probably mention this, was going to be Field of Dreams to start baseball season.
And I would have said no, because it was like, I was formulating my response to Jackie's text that was Field of Dreams, and I was like, I have to think about what my thumb is about to do rather than respond with fury. And by the time I had come up with something, she had already not been able to find it and picked this. And I was like, slasher, whatever. I didn't even bother with it. Looking up what it was first, I was like, they can't be more than like 90 minutes, so I'm fine with this.
I find it weird that Sam was going to go to the wall for Field of Dreams.
I was going to go to the wall for Field of Dreams, yeah.
It's just
I don't know why.
I hate that movie too.
Okay. I like it, I think.
It's a very strange Sam likes movie.
Yeah.
I was going to say suggest it because of the Ray Liotta. We do back-to-back Ray Liottas. But,
yeah, I feel like there's a good movie in there is the problem.
There's supposed to be, but it's dumb, Sam.
It's really about belief and hope. It's very uplifting.
Fuck off. Nope. Okay, we did Night Game instead. Jackie picked this based solely off the cover. And
absolutely. It was a baseball with a pirate hook in it.
Is it even baseball? I mean, let's just let's save it to the end. What the point of it, anything? But we're gonna go ahead and start it because the whole movie's given away in the very first thing that I'm gonna say. Astros versus Giants. Astros win by strikeout.
Did you notice that he said Dodgers? He's like, in the Dodgers, and then I'm like, they don't wear that color.
No, you missed it because he said. And the Dodgers already lost today, and that's how the Astros are going to make a run for the pennant. Because the Dodgers lost.
Anyone is confused as to why the American League Astros would be playing National League teams in a pre-interleague play era, it's because the Astros were actually in the National League until 2013.
See, I was wondering all of that. Everything that you just said. Now this movie makes sense to me. Thank you, Sam.
No problem.
I was like, this is all bullshit.
There was one shot where the Dodgers were playing them and they didn't have, and it's like, at this time, the 188 games, you don't have interleague play. The Dodgers are playing there like 5 or 6 times a year, and they don't have any shots of it, because they have a shot of a Pittsburgh Pirate hitting the ball, and it's supposed to be the Dodgers there, and I'm like, That's the fucking Pirates. What the fuck?
They played the Pirates because they also talked about Bobby Bonilla.
They did,
and
but
Barry
it was
Bonds.
framed as it was the Dodgers game.
Yeah, okay. I'm surprised you didn't have any bullshit about the MLB getting involved with this movie, because it's not like Any Given Sunday where they had to make up their own goddamn fucking side-loaded fucking league. These are guys. This is baseball.
That's, I think, one of the things about the MLB, why it was the last one to have a salary cap, which is like a suggestion with the way the penalties are on it. It's getting more strict finally, but the MLB didn't take control of its clubs. If the Houston Astros wanted to do this, they could fucking do it.
Interesting.
And there was no Roger Goodell. Bud Selig, I think, was the commissioner at this point.
Sounds
I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
Now I think it was the guy before Bud Selig, but he would, if he told somebody that owned a baseball team what to do, they'd tell him to piss up a rope.
Yeah, right. So like Major League, that would have been the same thing with the Indians. The Indians are like, yeah, we'll take this money.
Yeah.
Because we're in Cleveland and we really need it.
We need it.
Have you been here?
It used to be nice, I guess.
Cleveland used to be gorgeous until the shanties. Yeah. Until the shanty town came in. And then the Torso murders. And then Elliot Ness. And it never turned around.
Torso murders?
Never heard of the Torso murders? You should look it up.
Oh, I bet there's like some kind of slasher documentary about it. I'm going to do that while I do.
It was right after Al Capone, because Elliot Ness was the big hot shot, and so these murders are taking place along the river in Cleveland, and all that's being left behind is torsos. So the man calls in Elliot Ness because he's the big shot in the whole place. So I think it was early 40s, or maybe it was no, Al Capone was. So it would have been mid 30s. It would have been during the Depression. But yeah, you should check it out. The Torso murders are pretty interesting, and a dark chapter in a town that has struggled to ever rebuild from it. Anyways,
well, yeah, we should talk about this room temperature turd, because it's not even a steamer; it's a room temperature turd.
I am going to use. I thought of the word. I try to usually pizzazz my descriptions of how I feel about movies, but the only word I could come up with this was dull. It's not. It's just dull. It's like olive drab. Oh, okay. I guess you could say that's a color. Okay, so
yeah, for me it was a lot like when somebody gives you a gift and they've been your friend for a long time and you're like, this is going to be so good, and then you open it and it's like a fucking toaster. Yeah. And you're like, oh. And then you have to kind of pretend like it was okay.
A keychain.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. All right. So let's Roy Scheider's name is Mike Seavers. It's 1989. Growing Pains.
Tom Seaver was the...
No, fucking Kirk Cameron was Mike Seaver in Growing Pains. That was not an unpopular
paying attention
show.
to that because they're like trying to make that Tom Seaver connection. Maybe, I don't know.
Mike Seaver, yeah, pretty right there, guys. All right, so he's watching highlights. He's a big baseball fan. He's one tough cop. He's something.
Fucking a 19-year-old and he's 56.
Yeah, but he also did something in Dallas, like the just the most cliche, tropey shit, like, you're only here in Houston because of what you did in Dallas. And I'm like, wait, isn't Houston a promotion from Dallas? Because Houston is way nicer town than Dallas, right?
Especially right now. I mean, they shot RoboCop in Houston, claiming it was Detroit because Houston was such a futuristic-looking city.
Yeah, there you go.
This is the hottest point. The Houston boom, right? Yeah, this is right in the middle of it.
You got the ocean, you got the beaches. Dallas has
crime.
Your
job is harder.
Yeah, it's hotter
and it's
dirtier.
Like the guy's giving him shit. Gleason's giving him shit for like shooting a guy, and I'm like, don't you have to shoot guys in Texas if you're a cop?
It's 1989.
They're shooting everybody.
Run and gun. I mean. Huh. Okay. Whatever. So he's watching sports highlights, and his 19-year-old girlfriend comes up to him, and she's like, trying to be sports, like she's fucking Bob Costas. She's like, and that's when Mike Seaver got engaged to me. And he's like, eh.
It's because he's too old.
Like, okay, well, casually engaged that evening to a 19-year-old girl whose mother he used to bang.
Whose mommy used to bang. She gets her boob out in the morning for whatever reason. Just
Twice.
because I guess she's known to do that.
Okay.
I think her first acting role was because she would do the nudity, I guess.
Okay.
So now she's just like, here's my boob.
All right.
And then you're like, but Ray Scheider's upper body is exposed and I am looking,
Ugh.
ah.
Elsewhere, at the pier or wherever, because it's like, is this something that is actually in Houston? Because there's a beach.
Yes.
You
No,
can
this is
park
not
on
Houston.
the
This is
beach.
Houston is inland. This is Galveston.
Galveston. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Galveston is on the shore. Houston is probably a couple hour drive, if not more. It's probably close, I guess, but you would be an Astros fan, I guess, if you lived in Galveston. And then this is like a storm wall walk. There's a boardwalk there.
Yeah.
It's there all the time. At this time, it had a 600-foot pier building that was a nightclub and everything else.
Okay. Well, there's a lady, a blonde lady, and she's walking to her Mustang. Is she a lady of the night? Is that what they're
Yes.
No,
Okay.
I will tell you what she is, though. A littering bitch. She just like drinks half of her drink and is like, fuck off, drink, and throws it at the beach. Who the fuck? Really? Really?
The ocean will take it, Sam.
And then just put it right back.
Yep.
Or turn
Nope.
it into a trash
It'll
island the
just be
size of Australia.
Big floating island. Someday we're going to put a hotel on it.
And yes, Sam, she is a lady of the night. She's an escort.
Okay.
Okay, why? All right. Whatever.
Okay.
I thought she was just a club goer.
Yeah.
No, because
All
later
right.
when they
Yeah.
when
Not
they find
later.
her,
Not later. All right. So
All right.
she's talked to her car, and she gets out, or this guy gets out, and it seems like she knows him. She's like, "What are you doing here?" And he gives her the chop. And we don't see the chop really, but it's like he kind of chops her neck, and she dies from it.
Yep.
I don't know about that. Like, I don't know if you can just get kind of whacked in the side of the neck and you die from it. There's a lot of muscle there. Your aorta, you gotta be at the front to get that aorta, right? If I know anything about the human anatomy.
Yeah, we're
It's
going
over
to
on
get
the
in
side.
later
Yeah,
on
it's
how this
behind
all
that muscle.
works.
It's behind that.
But
This the trapezial nectal
Yeah,
muscle. It's behind that. It's right there. But you
So
can't
full
just
of
go,
shit.
You can't just go without like a sword. I mean, that's how you take a guy's head off, right? But anyways, all right. So Mike gets the call in the morning. He goes down to the scene and he's like, "All right, first place I'm going to check is her panties." And so he does and finds a clue. He's like, "This beaver's really hair. Oh, there's paper here too. Huh, how about that? Oh, you might want to catalog this. I'm going to stare at this lady's crotch for a little bit longer, though."
yeah, what cop lifts up a lady's skirt
Mhm.
and it's like, well, what's under here? Ha 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 ha. Like,
I'll tell you what, cop, Mike Seavers.
Mike Seaver, the same cop that's banging a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
it was just super creepy. Like, what are you doing?
I'll examine the body with my
Like, was the next step
hands.
to stick his finger in her crotch or in her vagina and be like, I'm just swabbing, guys, to
Yep.
make sure there's nothing up there?
No, this is a rape kit. It's my finger. No spooge in here yet. Wait, did you just say yet?
Think if we leave her out here for a couple more hours, the sun will heat her up enough? Huh? You know what I'm saying?
Somebody get me a drink. I'll have some sex on the beach.
Ooh.
And a
Got some
Budweiser.
banana boat in the car.
Okay. All right, so there's the guy from 16 Candles Breakfast Club, the Bullhorns
Breakfast
guy.
Gleason.
Yeah, Gleason. He's there. He's like the sheriff's man. He's not the sheriff.
No, he's the sheriff.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the sheriff.
All right.
He's the county sheriff, and The other guys are Galveston PD.
Okay.
So they're having a pissing contest because he's like, the shore is county and the beach is county.
Oh,
this is mine. I fucked up this crime scene because it's mine to fuck up.
That's right.
His name is also Kyle, which is a good dickhead name.
And, I see you brought D in. D being for Dallas, where he shot a guy and then got a promotion for it because this place is much better than Dallas. I mean, let's get that straight.
So it's a tourist town.
Yeah. It's like
A lot of cruise boats leave out of Galveston.
Yeah, it's like shooting a guy in San Bernardino and then moving to Huntington Beach for it. Whoa. Yep. Okay. So anyways, he puts together a pattern. This guy likes killing blondes. Okay. So we're on the...
Because we found one dead blonde.
Yeah.
They're profiling off of one murder.
Well, no, because before this, there's been a bunch of murders. We're coming late into the game.
Two other murders, both blondes, both with their necks ripped out.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the next scene that we see the projector slideshow thing.
We'll get there. So Mike goes to this apartment. I'm assuming it's her apartment. And her apartment appears to be made out of sheets.
I believe that those are parachutes.
Okay. She's got a parachute apartment.
I'm guessing that the place is a shithole and she's doing her very best not to look at it.
Yeah.
She's a carny, right? Like her mom has a booth.
No, she's a
No, this is the hooker's apartment.
Oh, the hooker's apartment. That's right.
Yeah. And that's how we find out the hooker, because he pulls a picture off of sheets, and behind the picture is a journal that's glued to the sheet. Whatever. He finds another clue because he's that good of a detective. And he's got this lady's notebook. And then he goes outside and he meets her neighbor, who is also a pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he arrests her for nothing.
Right.
The neighbor actually comes into the apartment. I think she's looking for the book. Yeah. Because she's like, I'm going to pick up this bitch's clientele.
She
I
is looking.
No, that's not what happens. It actually explains what happens later. She is looking for the book.
Yes. But not to steal business. She's protecting. Okay. But she's like, she's dating some dude, or was dating some dude. She was obsessed with him. I haven't seen her around because his name is Earl and he works at the JPL, which is the Jet Propulsion Lab that sends our rockets to the moon. Okay. And that goes nowhere, right? The whole Earl
Nope,
thing?
he's the trash man. He works at JPL, but he's just the sanitation guy. Roy Scheider will slap him in the face for sassing him, and you're just like, already Roy Scheider isn't just a creepy guy. Mike Seaver isn't just a creepy guy because he's banging a 19-year-old and he's 56. He's also a dirty fucking cop.
He's also a dirty cop, yeah.
He arrests the hooker for nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like, you're under arrest. And she's like, you can't. Yes, I can. Let's go.
For what? For not blowing me.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
She's back out on the streets in like 10 minutes. What are we booking her for? Standing there. Oh.
Giving me sass.
Yeah. All right, now we get the briefing, Jackie, of the murders. Get a slideshow of entry wounds. I don't know.
Yes, so a lot of our listeners are not going to know, or maybe they will, what a slide projector was. It was a round machine that had these little tiny pictures in it.
How young do you think our audience is, Jackie? They're all our age.
Well, thank God. Okay, so I don't have to describe this to anybody. If you don't know what a projector is, just look it up.
I'm pretty sure everybody knows what a slideshow is. We do have PowerPoint in the future.
We are in a movie that is already boring enough, and then it gives us a slideshow. Because there's nothing more boring than slide presentations. And this is like a 6 to 8 minute slide sequence. And you're like, what did he just fucking shove Valium down my throat?
Right?
Well, they're trying to introduce you to the fact that there were 2 other murders. And with each murder, there's a best wishes message that's left or good luck. And the one guy in the back who has a blue uniform is the only one that's allowed to touch the projector machine. If you notice in every other scene that this projector scene comes up, that one guy is back there.
He's very simply because he's the only one that knows how to run it.
Well, he's the only one that he was also demoted because he's the only guy on the force that hasn't shot innocent people. Mm-hmm. Everybody else gets promoted from Dallas. One cop, he's like, I can't handle it. He runs out and barfs because he's looking at ladies with their necks opened up.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like an alright
The guy that found it he's the barf cop, and he never really barfs all the way. They didn't even do that. Like, just have the guy barf.
Right there.
Right there. Just do it.
Right on.
Barf twice. Give me something. Not a fucking slideshow. Good Lord. So where's the slide of the guy playing stick 'em up with a cactus?
Here's me at the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Here's me at another spot at the Grand Canyon. That's what you had to do when hey, you guys ready for my slideshow? I just went on vacation.
This is a slide of an antique shop that your mom liked. Yeah. This is also a slide of an antique shop that your mom liked.
The travel documentary when people would come back. When we went to England, I will confess, when Jackie and I went to England and I came back, my dad was like, oh, tell me all about it. I presented him with a slideshow.
He probably fucking loved it.
No, he checked out and was done by about a quarter of the way through. He was like, I'm going to go do something else.
Yeah.
I was like,
realized the error of his ways.
No, I realized the error of my ways.
The other weird part about the slide is that color positive was stupidly expensive versus other film, and a slide projector wasn't cheap. So this thing that bores people to death is an American luxury.
Okay, so Mike, he sees these wounds, and he's like, it doesn't look like a knife. It looks more like a hook. And the coroner or the medical examiner is like, yeah, I guess that checks out. Okay.
We'll just go with that because I can't identify the murder weapon.
Yeah, right. All right. So everybody's ordered to go to work for 18 hours at a time. Go tell your wives and girlfriends you're not going to be around for a while. And Mike goes to Roxy. Roxy's her name because of course it is. And he's like, hey, baby, I'm going to be gone for a while. And her mom is like, oh, just like the time in high school that you banged me and then went to go get smokes and never came back. Like, you're going to be gone that long? Because we used to have sex. We used to have sex in high school. Like, gross. Movie.
Yuck.
What are you doing here, movie?
Are we sure that that's not his, like,
right?
sex daughter from high school?
That's my question for the end. Is she his daughter?
Right.
Well, I guess we'll just ask it again when we get there. But right now, he's giving Fred Ward a run for his money on weirdness because Fred Ward fathered himself in Time Runner.
Right. Okay. So they go on a date. And during this date, their whole thing is reminiscing about their creepy relationship. Because he says... Actually, I'll let you take it, Jackie. I know you want to.
I remember when you had that bike with the puffy tires. What?
Tassels. It said Barbie on the side of it. You know, you remember that? I was 6. Yeah, I remember.
Fucking creepy. Like, is he a pedophile? I'll save that for the end. Okay. All right. This whole thing is just really fucked up.
Yeah. All right. So the chief tells him to check out this guy who's a panty sniffer, who used to work for his dad, Mike's dad. Mike's dad was a leg breaker or something. I don't fucking know.
Mike's dad was mafiosa.
Yeah, I had to put this together after the fact because of that lore of the Balinese room. His dad was probably running that casino.
Okay.
Because they called him the boss or whatever. But it's not in the movie. You have to read about the most boring movie you've seen in years, if not ever. You'd have to read about it afterwards to put that together. So it's just completely unclear in the movie world.
Wouldn't it have been better if his dad was like the manager of like the local farm club for baseball and then like more baseball connection? Because this is a baseball movie, sort of.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, they're stretching it on the baseball thing. Because up to this point, it's what's the score? And then you get like the weird random baseball snippets. And then the mom going, it's baseball or it's murder. It's baseball or it's murder. And I'm like, is this the only connection that we're going to have to baseball in this movie? Because if so, I'm fucking disappointed.
What's the score? 0-0. Oh, yeah? Who's winning? The Bears.
He asked the secretary, who they're just douches to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She does a really good job staying cheery for how shit her job has to be on a daily basis. And he's like, what's the score? And she's like, 7-4. Who's winning? I don't know that fucking part. And then he just like feeds her, just tosses shade at her, and she's just smiling like, yeah, this isn't actually my fucking job.
Right.
So do all your filing and answer this fucking phone. Fuck off.
I also like the scene where they come out of the white-haired guy's office, and then Michael Seavers just sits on her desk like she's not even there. While she's working.
That sounds right. All right, so he's got to go check out this sniffer who he knows, this panty sniffer. That's what we're going to call him because I don't really care. He's not really important to the movie. He finds this other guy that I guess Sam was talking about, working at this dock crane.
Earl is cleaning up the post-launch debris. I'm not sure what his real job is, but he works for NASA.
Okay.
And he's dressed like a garbage man. Mm-hmm. And he has all sorts of alibis and obviously didn't do anything, so Roy Scheider backhands him and says he's going to punch him next time.
Because he calls him out for his creepy relationship.
Yep.
Hey, aren't you still dating that kid? Whap! Yeah.
Are you tossing shade at me for slapping a hooker when you're banging a 19-year-old? Yes. Bitch slap.
And then so that night he goes to the sniffer's house, the panty sniffer, and he's like, you got to get out of town. The sheriff is going to come and bust your balls because he thinks that you killed a lady. Get out of here.
And this is also Mike Seaver is just kind of a fucking asshole because this guy's like, hey, Mikey.
Yeah.
And he's like, he still like wants to talk to him because he's like, yeah, I had a huge part in your upbringing. Don't be a fucking dick to me.
Right. Well, back at the carnival, another blonde, she goes into this fun house with her friends into the Hall of Mirrors. They're chasing each other around until the blonde stumbles into our killer, and she gets the chop.
And who is she?
I don't know.
Renee O'Connor from Xena Warrior Princess.
Oh.
The little one? The little
the blonde
sidekick?
with the sidekick.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
And then the police will later describe this murder as the young blonde and her fat friend.
Ooh.
She wasn't really all that heavy. She just kind of she was a little bit bigger than the other one.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but she was still in fine shape. It was like the fat friend. Like, what?
The one that got murdered and the one that probably would have gotten a degree in a happy marriage.
Yeah. The fat friend. I'm like, fuck you.
Well, she gets chopped too.
Fucking 80s.
But then they say something later that she is alive and might identify the killer?
No.
She didn't make
she's dead. And they say something, because there was only a note on the one, and then that's where Seaver's like, okay, it was just she walked into the wrong spot and he had to do her too because she's a witness or something like that.
Right. But then they say it's not the same guy because this killer wrote with his right hand, whereas our killer writes with his left hand. So it's a copycat, but it's not because later it's not. And we even see the killer's face in this whole scene. Like, this is dumb.
Yeah, this is dumb. And also the handwriting expert is...
drunk? Maybe?
I don't know. There's a handwriting expert, and then throughout the movie you see Seaver be able to absolutely forge every signature that he sees perfectly, and I'm like, I think you're the handwriting expert?
Right. Okay. All right. So the sheriff, he has this panty sniffer locked up, and Mike is like, get him out of here. And so there's animosity building between those two. I guess we're done with panty sniffer. Cool. And he drives to the pier place, and he talks to Roxy, and they're like, let's go home and continue our creepy relationship talk. But they can't because the door's open to their house. And he's like, stay here. I'm going in because I'm the tough cop.
And then she gets tired of him tough copping, and she's like, are you done tough copping up there? And he bonks his head and, like, goes down for it. He has to, like, get an ice pack, and he can't. She's like, can we do it on the recliner? And he's like, oh, it's just my head bonk. Let's just do it on the bed. I'm so old.
Concussioned. Who am I? Who are you?
So does this, like, you figure this is Kyle snooping around his house?
The sheriff?
That's what I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the sheriff.
I think it's got to be Kyle because we find out why later.
Yeah. All right, so after he gets a concussion, I guess that is like, hey, let's go buy your mom a TV.
On RTO.
Yeah.
He's doing monthly payments
Yes, he is.
to buy her mom a TV that she doesn't want.
Also, we can have one thing happen so that they can have an excuse to turn on the TV so that the TV can tell us a clue for the movie. That's it. That's all this scene exists for, is to give us some exposition. Yeah. So they turn on TV. It's a sports show, and they see the picture from the beginning of the movie getting married to a blonde lady. And he's like, wait a minute, there was a lady killed right behind that. That's where the first body was discovered. On the day that they got married. Okay. So he goes and he visits that bride. And they're like, well, we were in Cancun during that whole thing. So we left immediately. And okay, so I guess you didn't murder him, lady. But you're arrested anyways, because that's what I do.
Also, that we've already established the dubious connection to baseball, because at some point before this, he said, he's in the bar. They're basically just having a conversation that is just exposition, where it's like, oh, he's got to be real strong. He's got to be at least this tall, and this is a left-handed strike. So already as a viewer, you're like, okay, so the murderer is a left-handed baseball pitcher with a good fastball and a hook.
Yeah. Not much left to crack here, guys.
And then the Silveretto, who is the relief pitcher, I guess,
the Dennis
closer for the Astros, is a strong left-handed guy, and the actor actually isn't a baseball player. It's Alex Garcia, who used to be a boxer.
Interesting. Okay.
I want to mention, before I forget again, that the best costume in this whole, like the one piece of costume that stood out to me throughout this whole movie that I just thought was fucking fabulous, was the PD chief or whatever, his Texas pinky ring.
Oh, yeah, I did spot that.
Gold Texas pinky ring. I mean, this thing was massive. And every scene that he was in, he was flashing that shit. And I'm like, yeah, I'd be proud of that shit too.
Mm-hmm.
It was rad.
Everything's bigger in Texas, Jackie. Including rings that are the shape of Texas.
And the boringness.
Okay. All right, so he takes a picture from the bride, like, hey, who's this guy? And she's like, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to borrow this. And she's like, but that's my wedding photo. Yeah, well, I'll bring it back someday. So she's
also, what is she fucking wearing around the house? It's like a skirt.
Like baseball.
And a bikini top.
She's wearing baseball player wife clothing.
Not really. No. I mean, just...
Maybe it's really
weird.
hot in Galveston.
Yeah.
It is. It's really fucking hot. It's hot in fucking Texas.
Fine with me, Sam. It's fine with me.
All right.
The ladies are out.
I think it's... Yeah, I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm just like, this is what you wear at home, huh?
Yeah. She's a baseball player's wife. Should see who those ladies are.
I actually watch a lot of baseball, and they're always talking about their wives, and they're dressed fairly respectably.
At the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even this guy's wife, when she goes to the stadium, she's got a jersey on.
Yeah.
She's not walking around in a bikini.
Yeah, but at home, you got the pool and nothing to do.
Yeah, she probably is just going to go right into the pool.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the fireplace in this scene? The pink marble fireplace?
Yeah,
it was
they're
amazing.
fancy people.
He's a baseball pitcher, and that's how rich he is he has a fireplace in Texas.
True. Let's move on. So our guy, Seavers, he flakes on a movie date with Roxy, and she's like, I'm not going to wait around anymore for him, so I'm going to leave with this dude, but I'm not going to make this dude drive me very far. He's going to drop me off at the pier, and then I'm going to go walk around. Well, Mike
It seems like she
too.
got a ride for like 27 feet.
Yeah, right. So Mike's out looking for her. She goes to the dance club. She finds some dude to groove around with, and he's like, so what's going on with you and Mike? And she's like, he said his name. I'm leaving. This club sucks. And so she goes down to the shore and uses the payphone, I guess, to call home while Mike's out looking for her. Oh my God, our killer's there. He's going to get her in the payphone. He's just going to slam into it like the Matrix. Right?
No, it's just some guy that really needs to use the phone.
No, our killer's there.
No.
Oh, he is
killer's
there.
Yeah.
Because we see the next blonde that walks past the payphone.
Yeah, he gets
she's
distracted.
Stumbling around. Yeah. She's got her shoes in her hands. She's singing a little song, tapping her shoes together like, oh, I'm so creative.
He's like,
everybody loves me.
Oh my, I likey.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one. Ooh.
So she's so drunk. Okay, I'll wait.
Right.
Go ahead. With the payphone gets interrupted by the dude.
Oh, that doesn't matter. We're on to her.
But she's so drunk that she doesn't realize that a very loud GMC truck or Chevy or whatever that was.
Full-size Chevy.
Is following her. That's the very brief period in the General Motors history. That is a GMC High Sierra.
Ah.
Oh.
Yeah. My favorite cologne as well.
Yeah, but she doesn't realize that he's there until he turns on the lights. And so instead of like, I don't know, anything other than what she did, it was like, this is a tight space. He's not going to be able to back up.
Right.
Or get turned around. Like just run past the passenger door, like hide in the building, wait for him to come by, and then go to the passenger side and run past him, and he's not going to be able to get you.
No, instead she runs into a construction site and steps on a rusty nail.
Or something. And he high centers his car on some debris.
Oh, shit, I should have done that.
This is not clean for a serial killer right
What did I think this was? Chuck Norris's High Sierra? Idiot. Yeah,
Chuck Norris was in a Ram Charger.
No, there you go. Isn't his
Dodge Mopar?
Isn't his truck still stuck at this construction site? The next morning
Maybe.
after he kills her? Like, he high-centered it on debris.
Yeah.
No, he called a tow truck and they came and got it.
Yeah, they probably would. Oh, so what's she up to?
He's like,
don't worry about it.
So don't say anything to anybody. Don't write this down. I'll give you an extra $50. And they're like, okay.
All right, so she's dead. She gets the chop. And Mike gets the call in the morning. He goes down to the scene, and the sheriff guy's like, hey, Dallas, you suck. And he's like, no, you suck. And punches him square in the face and says something to the degree that he keeps bringing up, like, she was just a virgin. What the fuck is he talking about?
I don't know what he's talking about here.
Uh-huh.
And they're fucking having their big boy punch party, and then that's when Lane Smith shows up and he's like, what are you two doing? God damn it, I came from the governor's office. Cool your jets.
And so he takes over the scene, the investigation, and he's like, we're gonna get some decoys. And Mike Seaver's like, it's too late for that. If we put decoys out, he's gonna know and he's gonna leave. Why would he know? He likes dumb blondes. Just put out some dumb blonde. Okay, whatever, Mike Seaver. And that also
but
goes
the governor's
either.
guy. Yeah, the governor guy was like, shut the fuck up. You're in the back seat now.
Yeah.
I'll just explain this to you fast, boys. I'm your fucking boss. Shut the fuck up and do what I say. Okay, sir.
So because he's not in charge of this investigation anymore, I guess he decides to go wedding dress shopping.
Well, did he? We kind of skipped the part where he I think he found her after the phone call while the murder's happening. He finds his child bride and he presents her with like horror lingerie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Forgot
She's
about
like
that.
pulling it out and there's just like crotchless lace. And I'm like, you fucking creepy bastard.
He gets in this big fight with the mother-in-law because who fucking cares? I just don't care. But that
she wants him to spend a bunch of money on the wedding, and he doesn't want to spend a bunch of money on the wedding. And they used to bang each other, so they get in a fucking fight.
Yeah, and this is like his 5th marriage. Let's be realistic. This guy's a douchebag, you know, so once they hit about 25, he divorces him and goes and finds another 19-year-old.
Yep, probably.
That he's been grooming from one of his high school friends.
Or maybe one of his ex-wives.
He just finds he just spaces his own delinquent fathering out so that he can marry his own children every 5 years.
It's a conveyor belt of... Yeah, and then if they spit out a boy, they just set it in a ditch someplace and try again.
No, that kid goes to the baseball camp.
Yeah.
Wasn't this a Mormon cult? One of the fundamentalists? Didn't one of the guys do that?
Yeah.
Had child brides that would father or mother child brides for him. Yeah.
The ones that had the when it all came crashing down, started murdering each other.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, one guy had like 27
Icky
child brides.
Icky. Okay, so he gets a hunch. The murders are tied to Salvio Barreto wins. And he goes to the statistician, and he's like, yep, Barreto came in, won the game, murder. Barreto came in, won the game, murder. Astros were off this week. Well, what about that time that there was a murder and Barreto didn't win? He didn't come in at all. And they're like, oh, yeah, but see, the announcer kept saying it was Barreto, but it wasn't Barreto. It was this other guy named like Bert or something. So the killer just thought that it was Barreto, and so he killed the lady that day. That's how that checks out.
Yeah, and the killer called the sports newscaster guy and was like, I just want you to know I made a mistake last night.
Poopsie.
I might have killed 2 people in a funhouse.
Yep.
And that was my bad.
My bad.
Because I wasn't going to do that.
Mm-hmm. I'll try to stay on top of things a little better. I should get the sports section and then do the kill. Because, I just... goof. You know, it's a goof. It's a guffaw.
You could call him the K killer at this point.
You might consider that an error.
Because K for strikeout.
No, He made an error.
You did.
Yeah, K killer. All right, we're trying to tell baseball jokes at the same time and running each other over. Because there's running. No, okay.
If he keeps these murders up, he's going to put himself in the pickle.
Ah, yes. He'll really have to slide in to get the next one.
That's dumb. I got one that's dumber. When he gets arrested, he's going to be sent to the big home
Looks like he just pulled the pick off on her neck from her head. First base.
Okay.
You should have seen him when he tried to buy when they tried to get him to buy a condo. He was ahead of the pitch.
That's not
what.
That's dumb.
God.
Are they going to let him out on Barry Bonds?
These are just getting really bad. Okay.
Yeah, they did mention Bobby Bonilla in this. That was fun.
They mentioned Barry Bonds too. Okay, so the conditions are it has to be a night game, has to be at home, and Barreto's got to win, and there's going to be a murder. So he goes to the chief, and after the chief is like there at this bar, like self-loathing, oh, you guys all think I suck. Dude, seriously, what are you doing right now? I've got a pattern. He's like, here's this pocketbook, and inside the pocketbook, he's like, make a phone call, the number 1 number in it. Well, there's usually only 1 number per person inside of a pocketbook, but now there's this like this is just a call log sheet, I guess. I don't know. So he calls, and it goes to the sheriff guy's boat, his boat phone.
He's got a yacht, and they mentioned this at the beginning. Like, what the fuck how do you have a yacht, motherfucker? You're the sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it might have been the hooker who hands him the phone.
Yeah, probably.
From the beginning, but I didn't pay attention because it was so hard to pay attention to anything.
Yeah. So the sheriff is running a prostitution ring.
The sheriff is the pimp.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I guess that takes care of that. That plot point's all good. He's like, I got to get to the Astro game. There's an Astro game tonight at home. And so he... oh, wait. No, we already did that part. Oh, no, he's talking to the statistician. And he's like, okay, I see Barretto's signature here. Wait a minute. That's the same signature, but it's not Barretto. Who did Barretto come from? And he's like, Barretto was brought in after they released this guy named...
No, he's like a farm guy, and like, they have to make room for him. And he's like, yeah.
Okay.
And then it's this guy, Epps, that was the other left-hander. And not only... He had the worst day ever. Got shipped out of the miners, and his bus got hit, and he lost his hand.
I lost my hand! And he reaches up and he points at it, and it's hilarious from Nick Cage. So he calls it in. He's like, you're looking for a guy named Mike Epps. Okay. Or Mike Epps. Not Mike Epps. Definitely not Mike Epps.
It's
Floyd Epps.
Epps.
Floyd Epps.
Floyd Epps.
So Barretto.
Boyd Epps, because at the end he's like, all right, calm down, Floyd. He's like, it's Boyd, get it right.
I think it was the other way, but so
whatever.
Barretto's coming into play, and he's like, oh shit, now I'm on the clock. Barretto's always gonna win because he's that good, I guess. So he speeds to the beach, and the cops are like, no, not on my watch. Woo, woo. Like, oh, do you know how fast you were going in this 35? I'm a cop. Damn it.
And they're like, put out your light, dickhead.
Where the fuck are we? Oh, they raid the Mike Floyd Epps guy. He's not there.
But it was super weird because when they're going to go break in, the police chief guy's like, this is the police. We are going to come in now. And like whispers it at the door, and then he's like, all right, kick it in.
Yeah, he's had a few, and he's ready to shoot a motherfucker. Yeah. These are all bad cops.
Yeah, no kidding.
He doesn't want to, like, do it right. He's like, legally, I have to announce that we're coming in. We're coming in.
Let's go, boys. Lock it low. So the Astros win. Epps is stalking Roxy because they're at the same bar. And she keeps seeing him, and she keeps just making her situation worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
And also, the grand detective dirty cop has never at all put together that she's gonna be next on his list at some point, right? Because she fits the description and won't leave this murder alley.
That's right. And also,
well, it's because her mom runs one of the carny stands. I mean, he's married into a carny family.
And at no point do they say, ladies that are blonde, don't go to the pier. It's in the news. Don't do it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that they shut a lot of stuff down when there's murders. Like, the city doesn't like it when there's murders because they have to shut stuff down, but they don't do anything in Galveston, apparently.
Especially with the extreme frequency that this is happening. You have like Green River Killer. None of it was like even 6 months together, right?
No, it was years. Yeah. So, hey,
I'm thinking he probably thought she was safe because she had short blonde hair.
Oh.
And up to this point, all the other ladies had longer blonde hair. I mean, at least shoulder length or longer.
Not too long, but whatever. So she's getting stalked by a guy that's dressed like he has no business being at the place that she's at, and he's 7 feet tall, and he's got a hook hand, and he's giving her the creep eye, and she's like, I'll go to the kitchen.
This is also where Scheider yells at her mom, where is she, goddammit, and then he backs over the banana shack.
Hey, there's money. So she's in the kitchen. He comes in the kitchen. She's like, oh, he's still following me. I'll make my situation worse by running out the back door to the ocean.
This is also highly dubious. Because there's always one cook in every kitchen who's doubling as the bouncer.
Right.
He doesn't make it any farther than this.
No. Like, it's stupid. Anyways, he grabs her finally. And Mike busts out with a gun. He's like, you don't do anything. And he's like, put that gun down or I'll chop her. And he's like, okay. So he puts the gun down. And then they tussle. They roll around on each other. Mike gets thrown through the window. And he's about to give her the chop. But then Mike dives on his gun and blams him into the ocean. Yay.
And she's like, oh, my geriatric husband saved me almost, kind of.
And then the body floats out with the rest of the trash and joins the island.
Yeah. She goes, good thing you had a gun, you withered old bastard. The guy was kicking your ass.
So then they get married, and they honeymoon at the Astros game.
What a dick.
What a dick.
She doesn't like
murder
baseball.
And baseball. Murder or baseball.
I mean, the only silver lining is that she gets to meet some pitcher who she doesn't even fucking know because she doesn't like baseball.
Yeah, Barreto walks up, and he's like, hey, good job. And they shake his hand, and like, they pause the game for the pitcher to walk off the mound and go up to a guy in a tuxedo and say, nice one.
Fucking San Diego Chicken used to fucking run around on the field for 15 minutes and stop the game. I mean, that's the pitch clock.
I guess that's true.
Is a thing now, but I mean,
Guess that's true.
Stopping a baseball game wasn't a thing that was infrequent before.
Hold on.
Like the umpire asking, like, what are you doing? He wouldn't care in 1989. He'd be like, oh, you've got business over there. Good. I'm going to go over here and
eat a sandwich.
Fucking fuck around too. There was so much fucking around in baseball. That's why I love it so much. I'm actually sad that there's less fucking around now. Last year, there was this guy on the Padres that would do this pee-pee dance.
Okay.
Before his pitch to like throw you off when he was actually going to throw it. Then he would swing his arm like it was his wiener. And
oh my God,
it would take him like 5 fucking minutes to throw a pitch. And he was pitching against Joey Gallo. And then Joey Gallo just started gyrating at the plate the whole time. And I was just watching it like, oh my fucking God, this is weird.
These guys are fucking around.
These guys are fucking around.
It's all gone, Sam.
Goddamn pitch clock. It's probably better for the game. It's probably better for the game.
I'm kind of with Sam because in the Pirates baseball history, right? They have a parrot, and Kevin Koch or Cooch, Koch, Koch. He got chosen to wear the very first Pirates mascot. And he was a cocaine-filled fucking weirdo. Mm-hmm. Like, he was giving cocaine to the guys on the team. Mm-hmm. And they eventually bought him, like, this little tiny car thing to drive around, right?
Mm-hmm. And it was filled with cocaine?
And he would drive it around the stadium, like, during the game. He'd stop the game, right? And he'd just be driving around on the field, like, chasing ball players and shit with it. And then at one point, he was so high that he drove it out of the stadium and he was on the freeway for a while.
Wow.
Like the 80s and cocaine for ball players was...
Oh, it was significant.
Yeah.
At one point, though, in just general shenanigans, Lasorda stopped just shy of beating the ever-living shit out of the Philly fanatic.
That's true.
He strangled him, and then he was like, I will fucking kick the shit out of you if you don't knock this shit off.
How did we ask what that guy's name was when his name was clearly Kevin Koch?
The mascot Coke King.
I mean... Why did we... His name is Coke, Jackie. It's got to be Coke.
Yeah.
If he's doing that much Coke, it's got to be Coke. Anyways, that's the movie. My first question is, yeah, but why, though?
Yeah, but why?
Why is he murdering people?
Because he
Floyd
didn't murder people. Like, he lost his hand. he's have a bad life now, and he doesn't get pushed over the edge until this guy marries a really hot lady that he thinks that he could get married to if he still had his pitching hand. And that's what pushes him over the edge. Is that night after his wedding, he kills his first victim.
I must murder all of the blondes, but only on times when the Astros win during a night game at home.
That's just because he gets so pissed off.
And Beretta pitches.
When Beretta gets another save, I lose it and I kill another possible pitcher wife.
What happens when Beretta gets a win on a road win? Oh, I'm good.
They don't have that channel.
He doesn't get to see it.
Yeah, that one's not being broadcasted, so he doesn't know about those.
What's
and then
going on with the game?
And then it seems kind of moot after the point to go murder somebody the next day. I mean, you got to do it the same day.
I'm reading the sports page.
Yeah, you got to do it the same night, or it's not cool.
What about a day game? He doesn't get mad then?
Only night games, yeah. He's at work, I guess, during the day.
Yeah, so he doesn't hear the broadcast, and so he doesn't, he doesn't know.
Dumb. It's dumb.
New York Times film reviewer, when this movie came out, his review was, Roy Scheider should go back to chasing sharks.
Yeah, I kind of was thinking the same thing. Especially the one scene where he's sitting on the beach and you think he's alone and he's contemplating. It's like right after they tell him to take some time off. And then you see this woman and she's fully clothed and she's bouncing around out in the waves and it's his fiance.
Yeah, that's Roxy.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Who gets in the water like fully clothed?
It was just another excuse to put her tits on screen because she'd do it.
Yeah.
Ugh. It was
and that's
super
just
creepy.
like the thing. Like, this is an R-rated movie because of her boobs, and it is the most blah slasher I have ever fucking... If you're gonna have an R and he's killing him with a hook, sure, I don't want to have gore porn, but those are fucking G-rated neck wounds for a hook killer.
Pretty lame. No. Okay, that's my question. Yeah, but why is he doing it? And I still think it's stupid.
It's stupid, and my question was answered. He is her dad.
He is her dad, yeah. He's got a
super fucking creepy
farm chain of future fiancés to farm later. Jackie, got any questions?
Farm system.
Yep, it's a farm system. There you go. Jackie?
So, do you think the mom ever tells the daughter that that's her dad?
Oh, I think the daughter
possibly
knows.
Be her dad?
That's
I think her mom doesn't remember the decade that happened in.
Fair enough. And do you think that they continue their carny life? Like, what do they do? Because he's going to retire soon, right? Do you think that he joins, like, the family business or he opens up his own little carny station right next to mom's?
Yeah, I think this is basically him and her mom yelling at each other on either side of her for the rest of their short marriage until one of his other prospects comes up.
Well, I knew this was going to be a short episode. I called it earlier, and here it is. We're just over an hour, and we're on to final recommendations. I'm going to go first. Don't. Jackie. Or
Do
Sam.
not.
Sam.
In fact, it's almost like I can't add anything, but I feel like I have something to add. A question.
Okay. We already did that part.
Is this the most boring movie we've ever done?
I can't be. I don't know, man. After 500 episodes,
it's gotta be.
It's up there.
I'm not thinking of anything.
It's up there. It's very dull.
I'm sorry, this is a total don't.
Yep.
Our conversation about it was more exciting than the entire fucking movie.
It's not even a good time waster. Like, there's just so many better things that you could do. It's like, it's a nothing. It's just a nothing thing.
Yeah, I think I was talking to Jeff and friend of the program, Jeff, of Jeff and Tucker. What was their podcast called? If We'd Have Made It?
Yeah, If We Made It.
If We'd Made It, those. And I was asking him about 52 Pickup, I think, with Scheider and Anne Margaret. Mm-hmm. And he just looked at me with this very, like, serious eyes and said, the 80s were not good for Roy Scheider.
No, they weren't. I thought you liked the Chopper movie, though, and I didn't.
The Chopper
Blue
movie?
Thunder, I think is what it's called.
No, it's terrible.
Okay.
But it's so bad that there's a couple of spots that are so poorly executed that I feel like it's worth watching just for like the just god-awful execution and how dumb it is.
Yeah, okay. Well, then there's at least something there for Roy Scheider, but not so much the rest of the 80s, yeah. Or pretty much after that either. Poor guy.
Whatever. He was in fucking Jaws. He's fine.
He's dead.
That's the thing, the 70s were hot for him. He got fucking French Connection and Jaws.
Yeah.
Boo fucking who. And he chose poorly for 25 fucking years. It's whatever.
Okay. Well, that's your podcast. Next week on the show, I was going to try to do Super Mario Brothers, Bob Hoskins and Johnny Legs, but it's not streaming anywhere. So instead, we're going to stick with the plan, and it's probably going to be a don't. I'm sorry, but we got to finish it off. It's American Ninja 5. More like American Dragons, but we're going to...
Not American Ninja 5?
Yeah, we're going to do it. So that's what's coming up next. And then I'm going to actually start picking some good movies. So have a great week. Get to the chopper.
Oh, and remember, next weekend is my birthday.
Yeah, remember that, everybody. Okay.
If you want to send me birthday wishes.
Okay,